There are only currently 3 campaign maps. There's Death Canyon, the Swamp, and Townwood. Which of these are basically the best out of all the 3 of them, or the worst out of them? Let's go over them.
Number 24.
Last place is of course Townwood. Now, Townwood in my opinion is one of my favorite maps, just because it is such a huge map, has a lot of stuff going on, and it's just a pretty cool map in my opinion. But the campaign game mode is the worst part of it all, and that's the fact that literally instead of it just fueling up the generator and then escaping with the rescue vehicle, you have to basically do a bunch of other stuff in order to escape. So for an example, or let's just go over it. Number 1 is fuel up the generator, which is already a hard enough task already, since you need cooperation, and there's gonna be a juggernaut, and there's gonna be hunters and infernos, all that infected, and it just gets really hectic after a few minutes. However, once you finish that goal of which is basically fuel up like 6 to like 18 fuel cans in the generator, you have to basically go ahead and go behind wherever it is the building it is that the generator is, and basically fix the what's it called, electrical box or whatever it is. I'm completely forgetting the name right now. And once you fix that, you have to go inside the building and basically call in for rescue, aka go to the radio. And you may be thinking, yes, we're finally done, now we're being able to escape. Now hold your horses, because you have to do 2 more things in order to escape. Number 1, or number whatever it is, you have to basically go inside the gas station and basically go ahead and collect all of, or not all, which is some specific type of, I guess, supplies, such as like donuts, some sodas, some pumpkin pies, some actual watermelons, and you have to basically do that, and you don't actually know when you're done collecting those stuff because there's no counter, so you just have to roam around for like, I don't know, a minute at most, searching and interacting with everything until eventually you're like, all right, I can't see anything more to actually collect, so I think I'm done. Then you have to go to the gun store, which is across the map, and basically, not across the map, on the other end of the map, and have to basically collect every single weapon and what's it called, I believe stuff like handguns and like Uzis and shotguns there on the walls and on the floor in order for you to complete this goal. Now again, there is no counter, so you don't know when you're done. And then finally, when you do that, you have to wait for the rescue vehicle and then finally escape. Which, out of all of that, it sounds like a lot to do, and that's because it is. And realistically, whenever you actually do beat campaign as a survivor, it just feels so rewarding that you actually managed to beat one of the hardest game modes that requires so much cooperation, literally. And the fact that the game just goes on for on and on and on with so many juggernauts, so many banshees, so many hunters, it just gets really tiring and hectic. And for that reason, I just feel like this is gonna be the lowest spot, because there's so many things to do and it's so hard, incredibly hard, with so much cooperation, that I just feel like it has to be in the lowest spot, really.
Number 6.
Alright, so number 2 is we're obviously gonna be Swamp. So basically at the Swamp, you may be thinking, why aren't you putting this like a number 1 or something? And that's mainly because the generator is, for whatever reason, at the very edge of the docking area, to where literally all infected have to do is just push you for like 1 meter, and you just fall into this acid for some reason, water or river, and you instantly start taking a huge amount of damage, and then you can eventually die from it. I don't know who thought putting a generator, putting the actual objective to where it's literally on the edge of a death barrier was a great idea. I mean, it's kind of interesting, but more or less, it's just like, god damn it, dude. If for whatever reason a juggernaut spawns, he can just toss you into the river, dealing a huge amount of damage to you. And especially the fact that if they stun you in the river by like a rock throw, you can literally do nothing. You just have to accept your fate that you're not going to make it out of the river, and you're just going to, for some reason, evaporate or something. But this is basically I hope there's nothing sneaking up on me, because a riot can push you in, a juggernaut can push you in, a banshee can ear rape you and push you in, and literally a tangler has a clear shot at you behind buildings and behind bushes to basically grab you while you're putting the fuel cans into the generator. And plus, even when you finally manage to do that, you have to basically survive for like, I don't know, like a minute or so until the rescue vehicle comes in, and then when the rescue, which which is a boat, comes in, you basically have to go over there to where you're surrounded by acid, and you better hope there's not a banshee or juggernaut who could just push you into the water and instantly just evaporate your entire health. This map and basically where the generator is just makes it so much more infuriating when you're punched or pushed into the river and you take so much damage. And the worst fact is that you have to go there every single time, probably repeating the exact same instance that happens, just because you have to do it in order to get it over with.
Number 1.
Check this out.
To be frank, I do not really like too much of the Death Canyons campaign because, Infected can easily camp the cornery room where the fucking generator is. However, it can be countered quite easily, and because of that, I'd say this one is a tiny bit better than the Swamp and Townwood's campaign. Now, the reason for this is obviously because there are a bunch of fuel cans all around the map, making it so you can basically gather and basically collect fuel cans pretty easily and within a timely manner. However, of course, Infected can camp it by basically, of course, being ready to snipe with spits, or basically jumping down at the last second while they're on the spiral staircase, so they can basically ambush you. However, if you have survivors who are on top of the building but at the same time who are kind of around the area protecting it, it isn't really that big of a problem because they can basically defend the place and allow no Infected to basically select an ambush or set up an ambush while there's a defense and guards everywhere. So realistically, this one is a tiny bit better and is not a certain death if you basically try to fuel up the generator, because in Swamp you can basically get pushed into the river and grabbed at any second, and in Townwood you basically have to go around the map, across the map, just to get a fuel can, but also do a bunch of stuff where it literally leads to certain death, especially when you don't have much stuff on you. While on this one, it's a let's work together a bit, let's go ahead and basically do this, do that, basically protect you, and eventually you should get it done easily. This game mode is a little bit more better than all the other ones. Just the fact that it is actually possible to basically fuel up the generator, and plus this map is a pretty big and it's a pretty big open kind of map to where literally you have kind of a big range in knowing what Infected are coming any direction, because literally it's a big open map and there's only a few buildings, so realistically they can't really hide too much. So realistically, this one just feels like it can actually be done and it's not that big of a problem, apart from of course cooperation. But just the general fact that this map is kind of cool looking, and especially the fact that the generator location, it's not really a big of a problem. And realistically, this one is the less amount of dangers compared to all the other two ones, which is Swamp and Townwood. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys all about 42 years and have a great game.